Hi everybody, this is Jeff from International Falls, Minnesota and the Icebox Radio Theater, coming on to make a special announcement that I have alluded to a couple times here over the last couple of weeks on Audio Drama Talk. And it has to do with Icebox Radio, the streaming radio station that we've been running here out of International Falls for about 2.5 years. Behind me is the station. Literally, that's all we got. We got a couple of out-of-date computers, microphone, of course, thank you MXL, Godzilla doll, soundboard, all that's necessary for operating a streaming radio station. And basically the reason I'm coming on today is to talk about the future of this effort. Now, when we started Icebox Radio 2 years ago, the idea was that there didn't seem to be a station on the internet that featured new time radio programming. There's plenty of old time radio stations, but there wasn't one that featured just podcast and modern audio theater. And at that point I talked the Icebox Radio Theater's board of directors. We're a nonprofit, so all the big decisions have to go through the board. I talked them into starting up this station so that New Audio Theater would not only have a place to showcase all of its best work, but also a place where we could do live shows, where we could broadcast directly from through internet audio or Skype or programs like that would allow us to basically beam in shows from all over the world and broadcast them out to an audience. I would say these 2 years have been a highly qualified success. We've stayed on the air, we learned a lot about streaming radio, but the numbers have never been impressive. In fact, the numbers have been at times pathetic. And I think part of the reason for that is that the Icebox Radio Theater and this streaming radio station, their missions never completely lined up. I mean, the IVRT has as its purpose bringing the Northland stories to the world. And we certainly could do that through streaming radio. We just could do it a lot better through live shows here in the Falls and through podcasting. So the discussion was begun this year, and the decision was made in the last week that Icebox Radio, the streaming radio station, will be no more. We're going through a format revision, and we're going through a name change, and we're going through an ownership change. I am remaining with the station because I am basically the sole owner and operator now. The IVRT board voted this past week to allow me to take over the station and take over all financial and legal responsibilities for it. And that means changes on the horizon. And the first change that I'm very proud to announce is that Icebox Radio, the streaming station, is going through a name change. We are now Sound Stages Radio. We have a new website, which should be appearing on your screen, soundstagesradio.com. Leave off the www right now. For some reason, you put on the 3 W's and it doesn't work. But we're really excited about this because, as I say, the missions never quite lined up. And frankly, I think the theater, which I love dearly, it's my life's work, was holding the station back a little bit because there was the perception that Icebox Radio and the Icebox Radio Theater were one and the same. That was never our intent. So I think making this change, moving to an independent station, I hope will encourage all of you to, first of all, listen, and second of all, want to participate more in the life of this station. I foresee a day where we have a lot of different types of programming. We have interview shows, we have news programming. We're going to be revising our schedule here in the next couple of weeks to feature a primetime block. We're going to have morning programming that will feature news snippets as well as time and weather, at least for parts of the country, every 15 to 20 minutes so that you can use our station to get up in the morning. I mean, if you have that capability, program your laptop as your alarm clock and listen to, oh, there, I just about did it, listen to Sound Stages to get yourself going. Really, really excited about this. And I wanted to just point out a couple of things that we'll be doing quite differently, I think. We are going to have a prime time block. And that prime time block will run from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and again from 7 to 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean. All of our programming from this point forward will be scheduled to both fit into a North American audience's lifestyle and a British audience's lifestyle. We will have prime time both for the Central Time in the U.S. and for Greenwich Mean. We have morning programming designed both for the U.S. and for Greenwich Mean. And we will have nighttime, overnight, coffee break and tea break, 3 p.m. Central Time. There's going to be a coffee break programming featuring something light and fluffy, chance for you to take a break at work. And in England, at 3 p.m., there will be tea break. Pretty much the same kind of programming, of course, but with a different beverage. I'm also very excited to say that we're moving into new territory on Sound Stages, streaming radio. We are going to be featuring more and more programming made up of material you can't find, generally speaking, in the podcast realm. Imagination Theater. That's the outfit out of Seattle that is available on XM and also on terrestrial radio stations around the country. The Adventures of Harry Nile. They do a Sherlock Holmes series. They do a whole lot of stuff. They rebroadcast on Colonial Radio Theater as well. They'll be part of our prime time lineup. Going to be featured. Let's see. The schedule is behind you there, I should say. Yeah, Imagination Theater is going to go out at 7:30 p.m. both in Greenwich Mean and in Central Standard Time, to be followed immediately by Colonial Radio Theater from Boston, Massachusetts. Our good friend Jerry Robbins was very good to offer up Colonial Radio Theater's programming, beginning with Ticonderoga. That is a historical drama that, again, is only available in paper download or in CD form, XM, and here. So we're very, very proud to have that as a sort of the anchor of our primetime lineup. Really, that's it. I thank you so much for indulging me the video. I came on video, incidentally, in case you're wondering, because it's a lot easier to put videos on this forum than it is audio. I invite you to visit again our new website, which is going to be called soundstagesradio.com. It's up now. You can go there and click on a player. You can also still reach us through the iTunes radio directory. iTunes did a great job of updating our name and our stream address right away. It took them only a couple of days. So you can find us in that directory or at our website, soundstages.com. That's all I'll talk about for now. If you have any questions or comments, for right now I'm still inviting you to use the old address, which is home@iceboxradio.org. And if you've ever wanted to do a radio show, if you've ever wanted to do a talk show, if you've ever wanted to add a blog, an audio blog that you think people would be interested in listening in, I want Sound Stages to be the station you start at first. I want Sound Stages to be the place where everyone comes when they're interested in audio theater, but they don't know where to start. Very, very excited about the future of the station. home@iceboxradiotheater.org is the address for right now. Go ahead and write with questions and comments, and thank you very much for your time. Station.